had the best day ever, Kiona. I aced my math test, and it was pizza day in the cafeteria. Kiona understands me because she's the smartest, the bestest, and the cutest dog in the world. Yes, you are. But I'm wondering the same thing as Leah.
Do humans really understand dogs?
I'm really not sure. But I'll find out by the end of the show. Maybe if I understood Kiona a little bit better, I could teach her new tricks. Roll over. No, roll over, not stay, roll. Well, I have the same question as Soham.
How do you get a dog to do whatever you want?
I found the perfect place to find an answer, Soham. There's a dog training camp where kids can learn how to get their dogs to do super cool tricks. I'm gonna meet Antoine and his dog Caramel, Noah and Bodie, and Cecile and Bella. Marianne, the dog trainer, will be there too. I know exactly what Kiona would say about going to camp. Camp? Roasted marshmallows? Swimming in the lake? Oh yeah! It's not that kind of camp, but it'll be just as fun. Wow. Antoine's dog knows how to sit. He gives his paw. Wow. And he lies down on command. If Kiona learned tricks like that, she'd be a superstar at the dog park. Please, no selfies. If I have to do one, I have to do 100. Woof. How do you make your dog do tricks like that?
You have to build up trust with your dog. The tunnel trick is a good way to start.
Let's do it, Kiona.
You go through the tunnel first to show your dog. Hold out a treat and tell her to come.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kiki, come. Come here. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Very good.
So when Kiona saw me go through the tunnel, she knew it was okay for her to do it too?
Yeah, you build up trust with her.
Do you always use treats as rewards?
Not just treats. We can also use toys because dogs love to play.
Even grown-up dogs love to play. So playtime is a great reward and it builds up the friendship between you and your dog. Oh, BFFs. Playing is the best part. But how do you teach a dog to sit? I'll show you. First, you throw a treat. Then, you let her know you have another one. You close your hand, put it on your chest, and say sit. And then you reward her. Let me give it a try. Kiki, look what I have. Okay, come here. Sit. Good girl. The reason you raise your hand up to your chest is because she looks up at it, and it kind of makes her sit naturally. Good girl. And always make sure you give her lots of praise after she does a trick or learns something. Good girl. Dogs know by the sound of your voice if you're rewarding them or scolding them. You want to teach Kiona how to do a double high five? Yeah, sure. First, you show her you have a treat. Then, you put it in your hand, put your hands up, and say high five. I see. It makes her put her paws into the right spot for a high five. Good boy. Then you reward them. You ready? High five. Good girl. Hey, Zoe, do you know the right way to hold a leash? Just hold on and don't let go? Not exactly. Put your right hand in the loop and hold on. With your left hand, lower down the leash, hold on tight. Like that? Yeah. And the most important part of walking your dog is the poo bag. Yep, I always have poo bags with me. You poop, I scoop. Boop, boop, be-doop. Dog poop makes me think of dog butts. And this question from Jonah. Why do dogs sniff each other's butts? Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Zoe.
So you train dogs, so you probably see dogs sniff each other's butt all the time. Why do they do that?
Well, dogs sniff each other's butt to say hello. It's kind of their way of saying hi, and they get a lot of information about each other by doing that.
Well, hello there. Nice to meet you. Woof, woof.
The side of a dog's butt have glands that secretes odors and chemicals. Other dogs can learn a lot from it, their age, their health, what they ate, and even how they're feeling.
Kind of like the dog version of shaking hands or hugging.
Yeah, so dogs often are gonna go smell your shoes, smell your coat, and they're getting the same information, but about us this time.
It helps them understand us. Now that I know that, it helps me understand them.
Yeah, and also they understand your body language. Watch, I'll point and Rudy will follow. Yes, good girl.
Thanks for helping me understand more about dogs, everyone.
You're welcome.
Me and Kiona are gonna keep learning new tricks. We are? Usman has a question about how dogs manage to figure out something really special.
How do dogs know where to go when their owner is blind?
Dogs can do all kinds of jobs. You train them and they get rewards, like playtime. That's a reward, isn't it? Yes, it is. But if you have a dog for a blind person, I found out they get special training. They're called guide dogs. They learn to stop at curbs and follow orders. If there's danger, like the sound of traffic at a crossroad, the dog won't move until it's safe. The dog owner tells the dog when to turn, and it's up to the dog to stay away from danger. I found out that there are also specially trained dogs for kids with autism, which is something some kids are born with. But not all autistic kids are the same, just like I'm not the same as all of my friends. I invited someone who can help me find out more about her special dog. Please welcome to today's show, Taylor Passmore and her dog Solo. Hi, Taylor.
Hey Zoe, how's it going?
Good. Hi, Solo. So what's so special about Solo?
She's actually one of the first autistic service dogs, and these dogs have not been around for a very long time.
So how does Solo help you?
I suffer from ADHD and autism, so I get super stressed out. And for people that don't suffer from autism, it's perfectly fine, but for me, it's really hard for me to work. Just a simple math test, I just get so stressed out. When Solo's with me, just knowing that she's there helps me, but in case I just get too stressed out, I just give her a little cuddle, as if it's just me and her in the room.
So how do kids in your class react?
Even the teacher says it just makes everyone feel calm. Have a look.
It's fun to have her in a class, and it's funny when we're reading and she just snores.
Sometimes we have to tap Taylor on the shoulder and get her to wake Solo up.
We're really lucky to have Solo because, like, when we were doing our exams, we were, like, all stressed out, but sometimes we'll look at Solo and, like, the stress will go away.
Yeah, like you see Solo, then you're like, oh.
Well, you can't really interact with the dog because it's working, and we can't touch her when she has her harness on.
So why can't they pet Solo?
Well, it would just basically be really hard for her to concentrate if everyone's just petting her left and right. She wouldn't be knowing who to help, and she would just get super confused.
So when the harness is on, she knows it's work?
Yes, and as soon as I take it off, she's like any other house dog. And she's still a little puppy, so she would just be running around crazy.
So do you take Solo everywhere?
I could take Solo anywhere. We go to restaurants, movie theaters, airports, malls, practically anywhere. I'm always with her. We're a team. She even sleeps in my bed with me. Before I got her, I was just so stressed out, but just knowing that she's there just makes me feel a lot calmer. She's my best friend.
Well, thanks, Taylor and Solo, for helping me find stuff out.
It was no trouble at all.
Looks like my dog, Kiona's having her afternoon nap. That reminds me of a question I got from Michael.
Do dogs dream?
I've seen Kiona twitching. She twitches her ears, her eyes, even her legs when she's sleeping. So I think she's dreaming. It looks like scientists think so too. They found out that a dog's brain and a human's brain work a bit the same during sleep time. So they're pretty sure that just like us, dogs have dreams. But what do they dream about? I can answer that in a song. I'm dreaming dog dreams. I'm chasing the sunbeams. This is my dog dream. I'm chilling in stream. I am the boss of the town where there's lots of frisbees and squirrels and super doggy love. If you see me twitching, it's because I'm itching to play in my dream, to be the dog supreme. It's my adventure. I am the inventor of my doggy fun time zone. Give this dog a bone. I'm dreaming doggy dreams. I'm dreaming doggy dreams. I'm dreaming dog of dreams. I'm dreaming dog of dreams. Dogs probably sniff everything in their dreams. Kiona often smells things that I don't even see.
How can dogs smell things we can't smell?
I found out that smell is the main way dogs download information about the world around them. And their nose has about 300 million smell receptors that help them sniff things out. Hey, people only have about 6 million. Scientists think that dogs can smell 10,000 to 100,000 times better than people. What? My sense of smell times 100,000? A skunk smell would knock me out! The trash can stink would be unbelievable! Ew! You're gonna make my head explode! I also found out dogs can use their powerful sense of smell to do amazing stuff. They use their nose to know which direction to go when looking for missing people. The first footprints have less smell than the next ones, so the dog knows which way the person went. They can also be trained to find people under rubble after an earthquake, and to sniff out bombs, money, and even bed bugs. And that gives me an idea for... my great challenge! Today's challengers are Emma and Isla on Team Smell Hunters, and Usman and Audra on Team Sniff Detectives. Think you can sniff things as well as dogs can? Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. No. Well, that's your challenge. You're going to take a big whiff of this box, and you have to go out and find the matching one that I've hidden and bring it back here. Ew. There you go. Okay. Ready? Set, go! I put all kinds of smelly things in those boxes. Can they remember the first one I made them sniff? It was chicken poop. I found one, come. No, this smells like nail polish. Oh, I found one. Ew, I found it. Let's see if you guys are right. Found one. Found it. Oh, you guys are right. Yes! Is this right? I don't know. No, it's this one. You guys got it. Okay. Time for the second challenge. Guess that smell. You have to smell each of the 8 boxes, and then you have to match the pictures with the boxes that you smell. Team Smell Hunters, go! Oh, it smells like coffee. It's coffee. Coffee? It's coffee. Okay. Oh, nail polish. Next one. Smells like fish. You think it's fish? Yeah, fish. Okay. Poop. Nope. Yes, poop. It's poop. Yeah, it's poop. Emma knows poop when she smells it. Lavender. Lavender? Yeah. Something gross. Cheese. Cheese? Mustard. Mustard? Mustard. Obviously mint. Okay. That smells like a mint candy, not the actual mint. Okay, now it's Sniff Detective's turn. Okay, guys, go. Chicken poop. Looks like we've got another poop smell expert. Mint. Lavender. Okay.
Nail polish remover.
Nail polish remover. Exactly.
Fish.
Fish? Okay. Fish. What do you think it is?
Mint.
Obviously.
Cheese.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yep. Mustard. Everyone could smell mustard. So, Smell Hunters, you got all of these right. And so did Sniff Detectives. But because we're counting the first round as well, the grand winner is Smell Hunters! Good job, guys! Now here's another great question. What happens if a dog with rabies bites you? Woof, woof. Flat Earth Corner! Oh no, not again! The bite from the dog with rabies has drew me to a life of hairiness and howling. Upon every full moon, I transform into a hideous werewolf, creeping through the dark until daylight appears.
It's like totally exhausting. In ancient times, that's what some people believed. But there's no proof werewolves exist. Rabies, on the other hand, is a serious sickness. It's a virus like the chickenpox or the flu, except it affects the brain and spine.
Dogs and other animals can get rabies, and if one of them bites you, it can make you pretty sick. That's why we give our pets vaccines against rabies.
Luckily, we have medicine. So if you do get bitten, you won't turn into a werewolf.
What? Ah! Phew. I wonder what Kiona thinks that is. I wish I could speak dog so we can understand each other. Hello! What's so hard to understand? Woof, woof, woof. I love my dog. Melina has a question about how many kinds there are.
How many types of dogs are there?
He's a dog show judge, and he knows a lot about the kinds of dogs and how many we've got. Please welcome James Reynolds. Come on, Kiki. Hi, James.
Hi, Zoe.
Meet Kiona.
You can meet Roulette.
Hi, Roulette.
Kiona is a Shiba Inu,
Yeah.
and Roulette is a bloodhound. You know, we have over 600 different kinds of dogs
But why are they all so different?
because they're all for different purposes. The bloodhound is a scent hound. It hunts by smell. It's used usually to find lost people. And it has other traits that help it. For instance, lift one of the legs. See how big it is? That lets her go through trees and grass trying to find the person she's looking for. Check the skin. See how loose it is?
Yeah.
That means she isn't going to get scraped and scratched. Her skin's going to move and let her go through. But her secret part is this part. This loose skin, the cheeks and the overbrow, and the ears, when she goes forward, it directs the scent up into the nose. And so she can find anybody.
Kind of like hide and seek.
A good game of hide and seek, yes.
Hi, Alice and Andrew.
Hi.
What's your dog's name?
Our dog's name is Elsie. She's a deerhound.
This is one of my very favorite breeds of dogs, the Scottish Deerhound. It was bred in Scotland to hunt deer. Notice there's a lot of muscle there because what can she do with that?
She can run very fast.
That's right. The hindquarters are like springs. And when she runs into something lying on the ground,
She jumps.
She really likes playing with us, and I like playing with her because it's really fun, and she's really funny. If she hears something or smells something, like one ear will go up and she'll look around to see what's around her.
Hi, Arthur. What's your dog's name?
His name's Spencer. It's a cardigan corgi.
these are dogs that were bred to actually help herd animals, cows and sheep. However, if you think about the height of a cow and the height of this, you think, well, how does that make any sense? It makes sense because he will nip at the heels of the cow as he's chasing it. And so they will herd the cattle and move them along.
He's cute, he's fluffy, and sleepy.
Hi, Ryan. Hi. What's your dog's name?
Felicia.
The black co-retriever is supposed to go into the water and find ducks and geese, or on land and find a partridge or a grouse or a pheasant. They're very, very friendly. They will, however, when you're out, suddenly take off if they see a squirrel.
She never has her tongue in her mouth.
So, what's your dog's name?
It's Billy.
Billy?
It's a Pekingese.
They were bred by the royal family in ancient China, and only they were allowed to own them.
So fluffy.
Billy really seems to like you a lot. And they're supposed to have a very short nose and a very wide face. So this dog has won many prizes, along with being, as you can see, a very friendly, nice dog just to know.
You're so sweet.
You have a new friend.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, this is Leo.
Hi, Leo.
He's a full-breed Chihuahua.
And this is what we call a toy dog. They come from the toy group of dogs, and they're meant to be companion dogs. And they're very affectionate, and I take it he is a very good pet.
Yeah. He always seems happy and always wants to play. He never loses energy.
And my dog Kiona is a Shiba Inu.
So the Shiba is very old. It's been a breed for many thousands of years.
So dogs and humans have been friends for a really long time.
Probably 30,000 years since that first person went and found a wolf cub, brought it into the human group, and then it became useful to them, and it was used for hunting or for pulling things, such as in the north, pulling the dog sled, but most importantly, as a companion.
Well, thanks, James, for helping me find stuff out.
My pleasure. It's always good to see people having fun with dogs.
Dogs are a lot of fun. I understand them a lot better now, too. Hey, that means you can answer Leah's big question. Ruff, ruff.
Do humans really understand dogs?
Well, Leah, the big answer is... yes, we can. Once we understand why dogs do the things they do, we can understand them a lot better. Just like they can understand us by how our voice sounds and how our shoes smell.
I don't need to be able to speak dog to understand what Kiona's trying to tell me.
She wants to play, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Hi, welcome to Finding Stuff Out, the show where I search for your answers, no matter how shocking they are. And you might be wondering why I'm walking on this red carpet. Well, it's not like I was nominated for an award or anything, but if you wanted to nominate me, that would be totally awesome. Actually, the reason I'm walking around on this carpet is because I'm trying to answer a question about a mysterious form of energy. So if my calculations are correct and I've shuffled just enough... Ouch! That was more than I expected. Must have been the shoes. Anyway, let's start off with a question. Sorry, I forgot to turn the monitor on. That's better. It's from Lucia.
Why does my hair stick to my chair?
The short answer is, it's caused by a powerful force of nature. And today, I'll find out what that powerful force is and how to use it to make the kids of today superheroes. So now I have to find out why your hair sticks to your chair. It's probably something sticky. I guess the mysterious force isn't peanut butter. This calls for an investigation and another question. This one's from Steven.
Why do we need electricity? If cavemen didn't, then they survived.
Here's an animated clip I made that should shed some light on your question.
True. Cavemen didn't have electricity, but they did have another form of energy, fire, which back then wasn't easy to make. They could use it to cook and dry their clothes, or even as a light to read by. And for millions of years, fire served as a cheap substitute for family entertainment. Oh no, Grog's favorite show, preempted by Weather Network.
Staying warm, cooking food, and entertaining ourselves are just some of the things that we use electricity for. Now here's a question.
Why do so many things run on electricity?
From the world of physics, please welcome my special guest, Mark Nantel!
Hi.
Hi.
Ah, the mysterious force.
So why do so many things run on electricity?
Well, I mean, for very different reasons. In the case of light, it's just cleaner and it's more efficient and it's safer. In the case of a drill, a hand drill, you can put it in a battery and go anywhere you want. In the case of the watch, well, you know, you don't want to have to wind your watch all the time, and sometimes you forget.
It's a pain.
It's a pain. Well, the electric one works pretty much all the time for a long time. So that's why a lot of things work on electricity, essentially. And you know, Harrison, this makes light, right? It makes a lot of light and it's great, but it's not very efficient.
Yeah.
Now, this little guy is very efficient. It doesn't take hardly any electricity to light up.
Cool. Let me find a battery.
Don't worry about it. I have everything we need in this lemon. Yeah, I'll show you. We'll make a battery with lemon.
Okay.
Lemon juice can be what's called an electrolyte. An electrolyte is something that is used in batteries to carry electricity from one side of the battery to the other side of the battery. So you take a lemon, you make a little slit in it. In the slit, you put a penny, and then you put a nail on the other side. Well, what you have here is essentially a little mini battery. Now, if you want to be clever, you make several of these guys, and then you can connect them in a row. So yeah, you take one side to the penny, the other side of the alligator clip goes to the nail.
Okay.
And you continue like that for a while, and the more lemons you put, the more power you get. So let's try to make it like this with a 4-lemon battery. Let's see if it works. It works! Ta-da!
So now there's a better saying. When life hands you lemons, don't make lemonade, make a battery. Now here's a question from Joshua.
How do we make electricity?
How do we make electricity?
Well, Joshua, I think we already answered your question. There's a huge pile of lemons somewhere, the size of a mountain, along with some pennies and nails, right?
Well, not exactly. There are other ways to make electricity. Typically, you send something through a propeller of some kind. As it goes through, it gives electricity, and the electricity, in this case, can power the little light bulb, right? It could be wind. Sometimes you can put water and have it go down through a bunch of turbines. This is a fancy word for propellers. And then the propellers are connected to a generator, and at the end comes out electricity. Sometimes when you don't have water and you don't have wind, you may want to generate your own by boiling water and making steam, like really high pressure. Yep. And then you pass that through your propeller. And so, how do you make the steam? You can use nuclear power, or you can decide to burn fossil fuels like coal or petroleum or natural gas. But another way you can do power that doesn't involve steam or nuclear power or anything are some maybe more sustainable ways, using what the Earth already gives you. Something like geothermal. So the Earth is hotter inside the Earth.
Yeah.
So if you dig a hole in the Earth, it's hotter than at the top. So you can actually get some of the heat that's there in order to help you generate electricity. But also you can use the tides. So if you go at high tides, you make sure there's water somewhere, and when tide becomes lower, all the water comes back down to go to the sea, and that's when you make it go through propellers again and turbines.
So no matter how you make the turbine turn, it generates electricity.
And the other way you could do it is using solar panels. So the sun is always there, it's shining on the Earth anyway, it's wasting a lot of energy. Let's imagine this is the sun, right?
Okay.
All right, well, just imagine. And we light this up. Watch it. Yay! There's your car. So we generated electricity that powered the little car just from the solar panel that's on its back.
No turbine needed.
So until we're using things that don't create pollution, how do we cut down on it?
You could use less electricity. That's the best way. So if you have lights on in the house that you don't need to have on, turn it off. You could still leave the TV on if you're watching this show, though.
Yeah. Now here's a question from Kirsten.
How does electricity travel through wires?
Imagine that a wire is this tube. Just like those marbles slide from one end of the tube to the other, when you turn a switch, all of a sudden, the electricity goes to where it's needed. If you turn off the switch, it stops. Turn on the switch, it goes.
So what are the marbles supposed to be?
Well, they're kind of an analogy to electrons.
Okay.
Electrons are little bits, the smallest bits of electricity you can find.
Cool. That was very illuminating. Thanks for being on my show, Mark.
No problem, my pleasure.
Speaking of moving electricity down a wire,
it's time for...
My Great Challenge!
So Shoshana and Olivia, take your positions and get ready to compete. Woo! In real life, we have to move electricity long distances from where we make it to where we use it. So today, my great challenge is about moving electricity from one place to another. So you have to get the power from the batteries all the way up to the caveman who's holding the light bulbs, and the first one of you to get it all the way up to the caveman will be the winner.
And here's the tricky part. You have to use these wires and other stuff. But none of it is long enough to run from our batteries to our caveman's light. So you have to figure out what you can connect to the wires to carry current all the way between these streetlights and our cavemen. Here's a hint. Some of our materials are called conductors, meaning that electrons can flow through them. Others are called insulators, meaning that electrons can't flow through them.
When I touch these wires together, a buzzer will go off, and that's your signal to start. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, there's a worm on this one.
Olivia starts with the toy worm. It's made out of rubber, so the light won't go on. Rubber does not conduct electricity. It's an insulator. Shoshana tries out the steel wool. Will it work?
Yes, I got one.
Yes! Metal is a great conductor of electricity. Electrons easily move through it. And now Olivia is doing the same. Shoshana is trying out the light stick. Uh-oh. It may light up inside, but the outside is plastic, another insulator. Olivia doesn't seem to be using anything plastic anymore. That metal wire works.
Stay.
Yep, that knitting needle is also metal.
Shoshana's catching up. They're tied now.
They're both down to their last light, and Olivia's putting the pedal to the metal with aluminum foil. Oh, the caveman's torch is lit up. We have a winner.
Olivia, congratulations.
Congratulations!
Street smarts! So, what would you do if there was no electricity?
Well, I would probably scream and run and cry.
I will use like a lemon and dime and penny to light the little light. I'd play the drums.
Yeah, I like this guy.
I just practiced my dancing.
To be honest with you, I don't really care if there's electricity or not.
I would just use a candle and just live my life.
I do like Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Edison did, learn on how to do it, or I just use my dog to tug me to school on my scooter.
I'll scream and die.
No electricity? My show wouldn't exist. That means you guys wouldn't be able to see me.
How come electric eels don't electrocute themselves?
Yeah, that's weird. How come electric eels don't electrocute themselves? Now that is mysterious. I've never thought of that before. An animal that makes electricity shocks other things but doesn't shock itself with electricity that it makes inside of its own body. That's shocking!
You're gonna make my head explode! To find out more about electric eels,
wow,
I met up with Nicole Can at the aquarium.
An eel? That's not creepy enough. It has to be an electric eel. So, how do these things work anyway? Do you have to plug them in?
No, not at all. These electric eels can be found in the muddy waters of South America, and they generate electricity to stun their prey and to scare their predators, the things that want to eat them.
Okay, let me get out of here. Ugh, why would you want to eat an electric eel anyway? And how do they make electricity?
Well, on the back of their tail here, they actually have very specialized cells called electrocytes. And when they all fire at once, that's what creates the electric charge.
Okay, so to answer Jamie's question, how come they don't electrocute themselves?
The truth is, nobody knows. There's a couple of theories out there. Some people think that maybe they're immune to electricity, or maybe they just have all of their vital organs insulated from that charge.
Are they the only animals that make electricity? No, don't tell me sharks make electricity too. They're already dangerous enough with their teeth.
Okay, well, they don't actually make electricity, but they can detect it. They have special cells underneath their snouts, and all those cells do is they detect bioelectricity. So that's the electricity that any living thing makes, whether it's a fish or a person.
Wait, did you just say a person?
Yep. Dun, dun, dun.
No, my head really is going to explode. If my head's going to explode, maybe I should go see Dr. Joe Macker. He's a neuroscientist.
This is just one of Dr. Macker's friends.
So I heard that sharks can detect electrical activity in humans, and I was wondering if it's really true that we can make electricity inside of our own bodies.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And in fact, our brains can use as much electricity as a 60-watt light bulb. In fact, I can even show you that electrical activity in action in your brain right now. This is Harrison, our brain, and he's ready to be measured up.
Hi.
So Chantal's measuring your head and marking the spots where the wires that we're going to attach to your head are going to go. They need to be on exactly the right spots above the right part of your brain.
People always want to pick my brain, but this is ridiculous. Are these gonna suck my brain out?
No, but they will let us see the electrical activity of your brain.
Okay. My mom always thinks I'm wired. Now I'm actually wired.
That doesn't hurt, does it, Harrison?
No, it's just really cold though.
Oh, it helps you keep a cool head.
This is what a bowl of spaghetti must feel like.
Okay.
Great, so now Chantal is going to start the electroencephalogram, or EEG.
So I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you to close your eyes now.
The first test is to check out what happens if I keep my eyes closed, and then open them.
For the next part, I'm going to place this light, which will flash at you, and you'll need to close your eyes for this. Okay, we're done.
That was really weird. It was like the lights, and I like kind of wanted to open my eyes while they were like going, but I knew I wasn't supposed to, so I didn't. And it was just really weird.
It's time to see if I'm really full of energy. Yes! Check out my brainwaves. That's electricity.
So here, this is when you had your eyes closed and everything is nice and calm. And if I just move forward a little bit.
Wow.
Yep, right there where the yellow blob is, that's when you open your eyes and suddenly there's a lot more going on.
Yeah, I really lit up there.
You certainly did. Okay, and here we're showing you the results of the flashing light that you had. Each of these pink spikes represents the flashing light coming on and off. And as you can see, as soon as we start flashing that light at you, the activity in your brain changes completely.
Yeah, it was really big and wavy there, and then as soon as the light came on, it was really small.
Right, exactly.
So it's true, my brain does generate electricity. But what do you use this for?
Well, we can use this to help people with epilepsy. In epilepsy, certain parts of the brain are firing when they shouldn't be. And so we can see that with this machine. And now we can even implant a device called a pacemaker into their brain, which regulates the activity so it's back to the way it should be firing.
Wow, so electricity can actually correct people's problems.
When you know what you're doing with it, yes.
Well then, maybe you can answer this question from one of our viewers.
Why don't grown-ups let kids touch electricity?
That's a very good question. In part, it's because the amount of electricity flowing within our brains is thousands of times less than what's in the wall. And also, when it's flowing from one part of our body to another, that's safe. It's dangerous when electricity comes out from outside our body and goes through us.
Yeah, that's an electric shock.
Exactly.
So remember, kids, don't play around with electricity that comes out of wall sockets, or you'll get socked with shocks.
The Flat Earth Corner!
In the 16th century, we've made huge medical advances. That's why we know that if you're suffering from certain ailments, like gout, there's a simple cure. Just stick your feet in a tub of electric eels.
Whoa! What a wonderful treatment! The electric shocks hurt so much I can't even think about my gout!
A few hundred years ago, doctors used to think if you suffered from headaches or an illness called gout, like Henry VIII, King of England, that you could be cured by sticking your foot into a tub of electric eels. Nowadays, we know that electric eels can't cure anything, except maybe boredom. I guess that's why Dr. Macker didn't have any in his lab. But speaking of Dr. Macker and his lab, it's time for...
Uh-oh. Do try this at home.
So, as I found out from Dr. Macker, your heartbeat and many other things inside of your body have electrical impulses. So to feel how that happens, place your fingers on your wrist like so. Can you feel that pulse? That's your heart pumping blood all around your body, which is controlled by tiny electrical signals. And more signals to help you keep your balance, all because of electrical impulses.
You've got electricity flowing through your whole body from cell to cell at awesome speed. You've got electricity when you're looking with your eyes, when you're smelling with your nose, when you're figuring some math, when you're wiggling your toes, when you're doing funky moves, or when you start to sneeze. You've got electricity. Yeah, you've got electricity flowing through your whole body from cell to cell at awesome speed. You've got electricity.
What's lightning?
What an electrifying question. I checked, and it's a lot like rubbing a balloon against the wall, except with way more electricity.
During a storm, water droplets and clouds rub together, causing friction. This friction causes electrons, which have a negative charge, to build up inside the clouds. The Earth is positively charged. In this case, opposites attract. Eventually, the attraction is too strong, and zap! There's your lightning. It's what's called static electricity. It's exactly what happens when I rub my feet on a carpet. The friction causes the negatively charged electrons to build up in my body. The electrons have nowhere to go until I put my finger close to the positively charged chair. Then bam! I get a shock, which is like a mini bolt of lightning. Which leads me back to the original question from Lasaya.
Why does my hair stick to my chair?
Big answer, Lasaya, is... electrons! It's like a tiny version of lightning. When your hair rubs against your chair, it's picking up electrons from it.
It's the same when I'm rubbing this balloon against my sweater. This creates negative and positive charges to build up. And that force causes my balloon to stick to my sweater.
Cool, my own electric eel balloon animal. I think he likes me. Let's get this party started.
How about some pointy teeth?
Well, I guess that's goodbye to Mr. Eel. Thanks for watching Finding Stuff Out. See you next time. So sad. Let the force be with you.
Welcome to Finding Stuff Out. It's a little crazy in here today. I started a pet sitting service to answer all of your questions about pets. And apparently, sitting doesn't happen during pet sitting. Some of the animals stayed up all night. The dog wants to go out, the cat is hiding, the snake wanted to eat the guinea pig. I can't remember if these food pellets belong to the hamster or the turtle. Bless, someone just called to see if they could bring over a lemur. I don't even know what a lemur is. You're gonna make my head explode. Taking care of pets is a lot harder than I thought. I hope your questions about pets will help me figure out what to do. Here's a question from Brianna.
Why don't people have wild animals as their pets?
The short answer is because some regular pets are wild enough, and some other animals would rather make you their snack than be your pet. Unpettable pets, the worst pets you can get. Sharks that have sharp, snappy jaws, a tiger with long, scratchy claws, a bear who thinks you look delish, a creepy monster-looking fish. Unpettable pets, the kind you shouldn't get. A lion king who thinks you're lunch, a warthog with mean pointy tusks, a vulture who would eat you up. Unpettable pets, they're not for us. It would be cool to ride a pet zebra or have seals swimming in a pool, but why can't we? I promise to find the answers by the end of the show. Now here's a question from Sarah.
Why are black cats bad luck?
The Flat Earth Corner! Black cats aren't really black cats. They're witches who turn themselves into cats. That's right, witch. I know you're in there. In medieval Europe, people believed in witchcraft. When they started getting sick from a disease called the Black Plague, They thought that cat witches were responsible for their bad luck. And we all know that black cats cause it, so we need to get rid of them. Nice kitty. Today, we know that black cats aren't witches, but some people are still scared of them, which is why you see a lot of them at Halloween. But guess what? It turns out that the Black Plague was a disease carried by rats. And you know who eats rats? Cats. So getting rid of black cats made the problem even worse. Ugh, I guess that is a drawback. Here's a question from Jessica.
Can my cat Fluffy live outside and never come back into my house?
I hope so, Jessica, because the cat I'm pet sitting may have escaped. You don't see him anywhere, do you? He's really big, but he still manages to hide somehow. Anyway, so the answer to your question is yes. Your cat could live outside, but it's probably not a good idea. I found out that when cats play, they're practicing their hunting skills, just like these cubs. So, Fluffy has the instincts to survive outside. But some pet owners have their cat's claws removed, which means the cat would have a hard time hunting or surviving. And most cats like being taken care of. Except for that one. This is a bit much. I need the help of an expert. He's an expert on animals, even has his own zoo. Please welcome Seth Falk.
Hi, Harrison. Someone dropped off a macaw here for you to pet sit.
Oh, cool. Can I wear it on my shoulder like a pirate?
Absolutely. Her name is Sapphire, and she has a green ring macaw.
Awesome. So, does it need a cage, or can it just fly around freely?
She sleeps in a cage at night, but she needs 8 hours a day of interaction and playtime and lots of special foods.
Right. Whew. I think there's another guest here with a pet. Can you take care of it while I answer another question? Here's a question from Rebecca.
Why do cats stay up at night but sleep in the day?
Tell me about it. Pets don't live on our schedule. You can't just give them a bedtime.
I'm not sleepy. I want another bedtime story.
Cats aren't the only ones that stay up all night. Guess who was spinning on his wheel at 3 a.m.? Oh, sure. Now you're sleepy, Mr. Hamster. He partied all night. I got a plan. I'm gonna separate the pets into 2 groups. Day sleepers and night sleepers. Isn't that smart?
Hey, Harrison. Someone dropped off another pet for you to look after.
Oh, nice.
This is Mochi. She's a chinchilla.
So, is it a day sleeper or a night sleeper?
She's in between. She's up at dusk and dawn.
In between day and night? That means I have an animal up all the time that's always needing my attention.
Yep.
I have a question about that. It's from Daphne.
Why do pets need so much care?
Yeah, that's what I would like to know. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's get some. I'm pet sitting a lot of pets this week, so I need these kids' help. What's the hardest part about taking care of your pet?
My cat, whenever it goes outside, I always have to chase it back inside.
When my 2 cats, Boot and Zazu, fight all night and I have to break them apart. One has to go inside and one has to stay outside.
It's kind of hard to get my bird back in my cage because I have to always chase him around and stuff. And sometimes I have to pick him up. And he bites my fingers really hard.
My chickens poo everywhere, and I have to clean up the poo with a hose. And then in their cage, I have to take it out with a bag.
Well, my dad normally locks tubs in the bathroom. He normally does his business on the floor. Like, there's poo and pee everywhere. I can't even step anywhere. So I accidentally kind of step in it. And then it's a lot of work, and I have to clean my feet afterwards.
Yuck, that's awful. Pets take a lot of work. I better get back to taking care of mine. There sure is a lot to do. Just making sure each pet gets the right food at the right time is really tough.
Here's another one. This is Periwinkle, and he's a tortoise.
Another pet? This is starting to get overwhelming. Daphne had a question about why animals need so much care.
Well, each type of animal has very specialized requirements. So it's about us adjusting to their lifestyle, not them adjusting to ours.
Right, well, it's really hard to know when what pet needs what and when.
Well, at the zoo, I use a chart. It tells me what time and which animal needs to be fed.
A chart? That gives me an idea for... my great challenge! Today's challengers are Casey.
Yeah!
Luca.
Yeah.
Brianna.
Hi.
And Sabrina.
Hello.
Okay, so today your challenge is to figure out what these pets want. Are you up for it?
Yeah!
Okay, so the 4 pets we have are a parrot, a cat, a hamster, and a dog. But the cat is obviously fake because my cat that I was supposed to be pet sitting went missing. Okay, so I have to make a chart to figure out what these pets' favorite toy is and their favorite food, as well as where they do their business. So maybe you guys can help me out.
Okay.
Cool? Yeah, all right, cool. Team 1 is Casey and Luca. You'll be up first, and Team 2 is Brianna and Sabrina. You guys will have to go downstairs first, though, so you can't see their answers.
Got it.
Oh, good. I see they found the cat. The 2 teams have to match the animal to the food it eats, the toys it likes to play with, and the item it goes to the bathroom on. There are 12 possible matches for a maximum of 12 points. Okay, remember, you only have a minute. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get set, go!
Yeah, this. No, it goes. Okay. It goes for the dog. Here, go.
They're bringing the ball to the hamster.
Oh, here.
And the mouse to the cat. Luca can't decide who the paper towel belongs to. Hey, Luca, that's food you're holding. Casey thinks that this toy is for Coco, the dog. 20 seconds left.
I think this is for Bird.
Luca's finally making up his mind. And here are some plastic bags for Coco. 10 seconds. The wood shavings are for the hamster and the paper towel for the bird. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Team 1 ran out of time before they could place the cat litter or the bird food. And they also gave the bird the cat food. Ready?
Yep.
Set, go!
This is the hamster. Okay.
The hamster likes to run around in that ball all night long.
This is the dog for sure.
Dog treats, those are the easiest. And a mouse for the cat.
Okay. What would this be for? The parrot.
Okay, guys.
That's a toy for all
You have
of them.
40 seconds, 20 seconds left. You're already at 40.
Oh, well. Okay.
Hurry, hurry.
This is for the parrot, that's for sure.
The paper towels are a toughie. They think the wood shavings are for the hamster and the paper towel for the bird. Hurry, you only have 7 seconds.
Okay, wait, this is for the cat.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. Well, that was a close one. Team 2 ran out of time before they could place the poop bag for the dog, food for the hamster and bird, and litter for the cat. And they gave the bird 2 bathroom items. Unless they think the bird eats hamster litter.
Hamster litter? That's yucky.
So, Luca and Casey, Team 1, you guys had 9 points. And then, Team 2, that's Sabrina and Brianna, you guys had 7 points, so Team 1's the winner! As your prize, you guys get to help me clean up all the cages.
Oh, thank you! Let's do this.
Just kidding, you don't have to help, but thanks for playing.
Oh, yeah!
Oh my gosh! Next question. It's from Farah.
Is there a difference between my pet rat and a rat on the street?
I checked, and the answer is yes and no. They're both still rats, but they're different. Rats in the street can be mean. They probably have to be to survive. But when people wanted rats for pets, they chose the gentlest, friendliest ones. And when those rats had babies, the babies got even gentler.
Harrison, these rats you're pet sitting make the best pets in my opinion.
Rats are the best pets?
Absolutely. Rats are social animals. That means they have lots of friends. See? Splinter here will make friends with you really quick.
Oh my gosh.
Look at him scurry. Oh, do you have a dog?
Oh, yeah. That's my neighbor's dog, Jackson. Yeah, my mom says he's not allowed in the house, but I'm supposed to be pet sitting him. Do you mind watching the place while I go help that dog? It needs some special help.
Yeah, no problem.
Here's a question from Jacqueline.
I wonder if my dog Gypsy could understand me when I talk to him.
Can dogs understand us when we talk? To find out, I'm here with my friend, dog trainer, Jean Lazard.
Hello, Harrison. Thank you for having me on your show. I hear you need help.
Yeah, well, this is Jackson. I'm pet sitting him, and he won't calm down. Maybe you can help.
Yes, I'm sure I can help.
I don't know what to say to get him to calm down.
Okay, because he's barking at the fence, huh?
Yeah, so, like, do dogs speak a different language or something, or do they not understand us, or what? Because I've tried to calm him down before.
Well, yes, they can understand lots of words and gestures and signs. You just have to teach them.
Okay, well,
let's teach Jackson not to bark. So you call him to you, have him sit. Jackson, sit. Does he do it? No? Okay, well, I'll use magic. Look what I got. Sit. Oh, this works well. You want to try?
Does the treat just, like, help him motivate him to sit?
It will change his emotion.
So what should I say?
Well, if he's barking at the fence, let's say, you can call him to you. Jackson, ask him to sit. He will do it, and treat him, reinforce him.
That was a treat that you gave him?
Absolutely. Okay. And I'm gonna wait till he's silent, and I'm gonna reinforce the silence.
Right, so when he's silent, that's when you give him the treat.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll have him do whatever you want with this.
Really?
You can teach him when you bark at the fence, come to me, sit, and give him a treat.
And then sit.
Ask him to sit.
Sit.
Yes,
Give him a treat.
Great. So while he's eating, he's not barking.
Yeah.
Huh? And if you do this every time, he'll bark less and less and listen to you more and more.
So not only did I learn to get Jackson to stop barking, I did it by teaching him a word. Sit. I guess they can understand what you say if you teach them what it means.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks for helping me with Jackson, but Sarah has another question about dogs.
Let's look at that.
Why does my dog Rocco wags his tail when somebody comes over?
Yeah, why do dogs wag their tails?
Well, let me show you my dog. Billy, Billy. They wag their tail to communicate.
Right. So dogs wag their tails because they're happy.
Well, not only because they're happy, they could wag their tail because they're anxious, because they're mad. It depends.
Okay, so I can pet a happy dog like Billy, right?
No, no, no.
But I thought you said...
You have to ask first.
Right.
Because you never know. The dog could be dangerous.
So, can I pet Billy?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Thanks for helping me find stuff out.
Welcome.
Billy. Hey, Seth, is everything okay with the pets? Seth? Huh. I guess he stepped out for a second. Well, I'll just take another question. It's from Noah.
My grandma has a pet monkey and I want to know why it is so wild around other people.
Your grandma has a wild monkey?
Faster, Mr. Bananas! I'll be late for bingo!
I hope your grandma doesn't bring her pet monkey here. I've already got my hands pretty full. Whoa!
Hi, Harrison. Someone dropped off another animal.
It's a monkey.
This is actually a lemur, so it's related to a monkey, but a bit different. And his name is Julian. He's a ring-tailed lemur. So I think the owner made a mistake, because this animal is definitely wild. It doesn't make a good pet. These guys like to finger paint with their poop all over the house.
Ew. So I guess having a lemur as a pet wouldn't be a very good idea.
Definitely not. They belong at the zoo or definitely in the wild. Do you want me to take this one back to my zoo and look after it there?
Yeah, that'd probably be a really great idea.
Hey, when the owner gets back, I'll talk to them about what might make a more appropriate pet than a lemur.
It's pretty wild. Well, it's already getting a little stinky in here, but before you go, Noah had a question. Why are monkeys so wild? Do you know?
Well, monkeys are wild animals. They belong in the jungle, where there's things for them to do all day, like searching for food and running away from predators. In a house, it's really boring.
Right.
So it makes them go crazy.
So Noah, your grandma should probably get a tame pet. Probably something like a cat. Well, not that cat. Anyway, thanks for being on my show.
My pleasure, Harrison.
I think I know the answer to Brianna's question now.
Why don't people have wild animals as their pets?
The big answer is... some animals just can't live with us. If we try to make them adapt, they could get crazy and sad, or they could even get sick and die. And I also know another reason why we don't have wild pets.
Oh, hey, Harrison, I'm a little busy right now.
My friend Little Ray owns a zoo, like Seth. Can you believe I know 2 people who own zoos? Hey, Little Ray, Sarah asked why we couldn't have wild animals as pets.
Well, Stuart here, my American alligator, actually used to be somebody's pet. And he was a baby alligator that got too big.
Its owner must have been some evil villain who wanted to guard his lair. Who was he?
As a matter of fact, he was a teenager.
Yikes! Did Stuart eat him?
No, Stuart started like one of our little alligators.
Aw, look at the little guy.
A year and a half later, he just got too big for the teenager and was given to us at the zoo.
Does it happen often that people have to get rid of wild pets?
It happens a fair bit, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of facilities like this, and many animals like Stuart end up being released on the side of the road, in parks, and even in ecosystems where they're not supposed to be.
What happens to them?
Sadly, a lot of them end up passing away and not surviving, but in some cases, they actually end up in ecosystems where they don't belong, and they do survive, and they start to breed. Either case is terrible for the ecosystem and for the animals that are there.
Aren't you scared he might eat you?
Well, I'm very respectful of Stuart. Stuart and I have been working together since he was very, very small, and you know, I don't take any chances with him, and he is very social, so he tolerates me, and I love him.
Thanks for your help, Little Ray.
Hey, thanks, Harrison. Have a great day.
Goodbye, Stuart. Please don't eat Little Ray. Whew. That sure was a wild day. And I sure hope I answered all of your questions about pets. Huh. It says there's a baby wildcat loose in my neighborhood. It looks just like... Uh-oh. Maybe the kitty I was pet sitting wasn't a kitty at all. Seth, could you come back and help me with something? See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out, I hope. Here, kitty, kitty. Nice, kitty. Oh, here, kitty. Please don't hurt me. I love monster movies, don't you? Sorry, a giant dragon was about to eat Tokyo. Fortunately, it was only a movie. Or is it? Here's the first question from Isaac.
Do dragons really exist?
The short answer is... it's a mystery, but some people say yes. The Flat Earth Corner! There was a fire-breathing dragon in the land, and it had terrible wings and scales sort of like my armor, and I defeated it with this magic sword. No villager saw it, because it turned invisible. It turned invisible because it was magic. That's like my magic sword. Yes, that's what happened. Hey, who's laughing? I'm not making this up. I'll have at you with my magic sword. Hey, come back here, you coward. Let me have at you with my magic sword. Ah! Dragon attack! Help! There's a dragon trying to attack me! It's just a dragon kite from China. Cultures from all around the world have dragon legends. From Europe to Asia, artists and performers tell stories about dragons. Some of the dragons look like lizards, some look like snakes, and some of them with wings look like giant bats. So many dragon stories from so many different countries. Today, though, we know that dragons really don't exist, right? Huh? But I said dragons don't exist. That can't be right. My computer says that dragons really do exist. Whoa, maybe there is a reason to all these dragon legends. Well, maybe there's huge reptile monsters. Maybe your questions on reptiles will help me out. I've got to find out the truth.
What's the difference between a reptile and an amphibian?
Well, Livia, reptiles and amphibians are easy to mix up. They're all animals that don't have fur. But there's one big thing that makes them different. Frogs and salamanders are amphibians, which means they start life in the water as fishy-like animals. Then they grow legs and can walk on the ground and breathe air. Reptiles are born looking like little versions of the grown-ups. The babies look so cute, but then they get really big. Okay, not that big, but still big enough to be scary. Marnie had a question about that.
Which was the biggest reptile that ever lived?
The biggest reptile that ever lived? The giant lizard that ate Tokyo, of course. Nom, 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 nom. Ice cream mountain. Whoa.
Just kidding. But you know what's amazing? Reptiles never stop growing. They grow their whole lives. Hey, come back with my house. Okay, my pet gecko won't get that big. Even though reptiles keep growing, they slow down when they get old. But some can still get pretty big. Who's the biggest? The saltwater crocodile is probably the biggest reptile alive. The biggest turtle is the leatherback sea turtle. Its babies can fit in your hand, but they grow to be as long as your bed. And some pythons can be almost 4 times as tall as I am. People used to think dinosaurs were reptiles. That would have made them the biggest reptiles ever.
How's it going, big guy?
Today, scientists think dinosaurs were their own group of animals. They weren't reptiles. But I wonder, could dinosaurs be those dragons that we hear stories about? Nope. My research says that dinosaurs were extinct way before humans existed. I guess I have to take some more questions. Here's one from Sammy.
How do some reptiles crawl on walls?
To find out how reptiles climb the walls, please welcome reptile expert Pat Benatar.
Hi, Harrison.
Hey.
Thank you for having me on your show. This is my lizard, Spike.
Oh, I sure hope he doesn't climb my walls. Looks like he'd scratch them all up.
Actually, this is not a wall climber. His feet are not made for climbing walls, but your gecko sure can.
Oh, he sure does. Look, he's climbing. But how come your lizard can't do that?
Your gecko has little hairs on the end of each of his toes that help him to stick to things with static electricity.
Hairs? I don't see any hairs on his feet.
Well, it's kind of like this. If I take this balloon and rub it on you, it'll stick. That's static electricity. That's what we believe happens with geckos. It's still a bit of a mystery.
I wish I could use my hands and feet to walk on walls.
Actually, scientists are working on something like that, but you won't find that in anybody's home anytime soon.
I wonder if I could get some good ideas from... If you were going to climb a wall, how would you do it?
I would put sticky stuff on my hands and feet, and then I'd be able to climb. I would fly.
I would put suction cups on my hands and feet. I would call Superman and he'd lift me up onto the roof.
I can cut a hole in the roof, then I can use a ladder, and I can yell I'm in the top in the world!
Well, I would grab some trampoline. I'd start bouncing and bouncing and bouncing until I got high enough to, like, hurt myself on the roof.
Does that sound safe?
No!
Well, sometimes my mom says that I make her climb the walls. Lance had another question about how reptiles walk.
How do snakes move without legs?
For critters without legs, snakes really get around. The secret is scales. A snake's scales grip the ground sort of like the bottom of your sneakers. And I found out that snakes can move in 4 different ways. By scrunching itself up, then stretching out in front. By wiggling in an S pattern. By sidewinding, which is sort of like flinging itself, or by creeping like a caterpillar. To find out more about how snakes move, it's time for... My Great Challenge! Today, my great challengers are Jordan.
Yeah!
Charles.
Yeah!
Tristan.
Yeah!
And Veronica.
Yeah!
So you're probably wondering why you're dressed up in these snake costumes.
Yeah.
Well, today you're gonna pretend to be snakes and race to the finish line, and the first one to eat their gummy mice will be the winner. Good?
Yeah!
Okay, and Pat is here to provide some tips to get you there the fastest.
Okay, what you guys got to do is you got to slither like snakes. Now, don't forget, snakes don't have arms or legs, so you've got to press your parts of your body onto that mat and squirm yourself forward. Move along just like a snake. You guys have a goal. You got to get to that gummy mouse and eat it.
Okay.
Slither like snakes.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Get set, and go! Oh, look at this. I think Jordan has a good technique down.
Yeah, he's got it going on there. Look at that. We're getting there.
Oh, Jordan's way ahead. And he's getting the gummy mouse.
Come on, Veronica, you can get up there.
I think Jordan's got it.
Jordan's got it, man.
Get there.
And then second place, we got Charles.
Veronica's stuck. Come on, Veronica, slither like a snake. Dig in and move. You can do it. You're almost there. She's almost there. Slither, slither.
Jordan was so fast.
Oh, man, she's gonna get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get the gummy mouse.
Here we go.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So it looks like Jordan's our winner.
Yeah!
Awesome. Okay, so what was your slithery technique that you used to get to the finish line?
What I did is I used my shoulders and put them really into the ground. And I didn't really like just go like this. I actually turned a lot and actually put my shoulders into the ground.
So you like turned your whole body to get into
Yeah.
it? Okay, nice. And what about you?
I tried to do as big zigzags as possible to pull me from side to side to go across.
Right.
I use my feet and pretty much every part of my body that sticks out a bit to dig into the mats and push myself forward.
Well, my technique was that if I go left to right, it would work, but it didn't work as much.
So you guys did great. You basically moved like snakes.
So I have a little prize for every one of you. More gummy mice.
Yeah!
Geez, snakes are so hungry. So obviously snakes don't really eat gummy mice. But here's another question about that.
What do reptiles eat?
Reptiles can eat bugs, fish, and small animals. Oh, and snakes can eat big animals like deer. Wait, what? How is it possible? A deer is this big, and a snake's mouth is only that big. How can a snake even do it? How does his mouth not rip open or his head not explode? And, uh-oh, my head's starting to overload. Ah! You're gonna make my head explode! Oh, I think my head would explode if I tried to eat something that big.
Well, actually, when snakes eat, they dislocate the back of their jaws like this so that they can swallow things larger than their heads.
Whoa, so they can just unhook their jaw like that?
Exactly.
Wow, this gives me an idea for... Uh-oh, do try this at home. Want to know how big of a bite you could take if you were a snake? Open your mouth as wide as you can and measure. Now expand it by this much. If you were a snake, you could eat a whole watermelon in one bite. Speaking of weird things about snakes, Paolo had a question.
How can a snake not die if it has poison?
That is weird, but I found out that it's because snake venom is different from poison. It is weird that a venomous snake doesn't die from its own venom inside of it, but I'm pretty sure that Pat knows the answer.
The difference between venom and poison is that venom has to be in the bloodstream for it to work, whereas poison has to be swallowed. Venomous snakes actually inject their venom into their prey, and it helps them to pre-digest their food.
Oh, I saw this video where a venomous snake eats another venomous snake. Is that true?
Yeah, many venomous snakes eat other venomous snakes. Once again, the venom has to be injected into the blood, so that venomous snake, if you got bitten by the other one, that could be deadly. But just by digesting it, it's not a problem at all.
Well, I bet snakes don't taste good.
Believe it or not, some people eat rattlesnakes.
Eat rattlesnakes? Pretty sure there's an easier lunch to catch than that. Speaking of venomous snakes, I found videos of some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, like the puff adder and the black mamba in Africa, the tiger snake in Australia, the desert horned viper in the Middle East, the common krait, and the world's largest venomous snake, the king cobra in Asia. And in North America, the rattlesnake is one of the most poisonous snakes. You didn't bring a rattlesnake with you, did you?
Fooled you.
I always fall for pranks. You know who hates pranks? Snakes. Do not poke, do not provoke. Snakes who cannot take a joke. Don't give a cobra stinky gum or ring an adder's bell and run. Their bite's no fun, their bite's no fun. Don't photobomb a viper class or stick your tongue out at an ass. You'll be sad if it gets mad because that fright could be your last. Their bite's no fun, their bite's no fun. Yeah. I guess snakes can't take a joke. Oh, apparently I can't take a joke very well either. Thanks, Pat, for being on my show.
My pleasure.
Now here's another question from Brianna.
How come reptiles have to go on rocks to stay warm?
To answer your question, I'm here with my friend Little Ray at his own reptile zoo.
Hey, Harrison, thanks for having me on the show. And this is the Hammer, one of our green iguanas that we have at the zoo.
So reptiles like to sunbathe. Why is that?
Well, reptiles, unlike us, are ectothermic or cold-blooded. We're endothermic or warm-blooded. And what this means is that we can control our own body temperature. If we get too hot, we sweat to cool down. Too cold, we can shiver to warm up. Reptiles like the Hammer can't do that. His body temperature is actually controlled by the temperature of his surroundings.
He's looking pretty warm right now. Should we try to cool him off?
Well, he will sit under a heat lamp like this to warm himself up or under the sun, and sometimes he can get really hot, but when he gets too hot, we don't have to do anything to cool him down. He will actually physically move to a cooler area if he starts to get too hot.
This rock is too hot. Ouch. This rock is too cold. Grrr. This rock is just right. Ah. Whoa, yeah.
Ah. I saw something really weird that happens to reptiles when they get too cold. Does this really happen?
Well, it does. If reptiles do get too cold, especially if they're living in a place where they're not supposed to be, or there's a cold snap, when they get really cold, their bodies will just start to shut down, and they just can't move very well. So if they're up in a tree, if it's windy, if all of a sudden a branch moves, if they try to walk, if they lose their grip, they just can't kind of re-grab on. And iguanas and other reptiles can fall out of trees.
So do you get them air conditioners in the summer and heaters in the winter?
Well, we do have to control their the heat in their habitat, but what we do is we keep the zoo at a comfortable temperature for people, and then we use heat lamps and heat pads, and the reptiles are able to kind of manage their own body temperature on their own. We give them the choice and they go where they like.
Cool. Next question. It's from Jesse.
Why is a crocodile's back so hard?
Oh, I know the answer. That's easy. So an action hero can cross a river on a crocodile's back.
Ow! Ah!
I'm sure there's more to it than that. Let's just ask the crocodile. I don't know. Or maybe Little Ray instead. So, why do crocodiles have hard backs?
Well, Harrison, crocodiles have osteoderms in their skin. And osteoderms are bony plates that are actually inside their skin. You can actually touch them if you want.
Not gonna bite?
Nope, you're gonna be fine. And when you're touching them, you're actually touching skin. These little bumps that you see are bones that are inside their skin, not under their skin, not on top of their skin, but she's covered in skin just like we have, and these are bone plates that they have for armor. Actually, if you want to hold them, just put your hand underneath like that and grab him at the base of his tail, just like that.
So what's the advantage of having the bones inside of the skin like that?
Well, crocodilians are highly social animals. They do live in groups and they're super powerful, and they will fight. And if you look, base of the skull, their neck, the core parts of their body, the base of their tail, that's where these really heavy armored plates are. If they do get in a fight, all the armor is in the core parts of their body.
Right. Well, you should probably take him back before I get bit.
I got him for you, buddy.
Cool. Well, Yasmina had another question about reptiles.
Are most reptiles dangerous?
So, are most reptiles dangerous? Like, what about this guy? He doesn't look very dangerous to me.
Well, most reptiles are not dangerous, but some of them, when they are dangerous, some can be very dangerous. Venomous snakes, big crocodiles, things like that. This guy, on the other hand, certainly doesn't look like he's overly dangerous, doesn't look too big. However, he has razor sharp teeth. And a bite from this one, Harrison, you would probably be getting a few dozen stitches if it's a simple bite from him. So as much as he doesn't look too bad, you do have to respect that different animals certainly can be very dangerous.
So what does he eat?
Invertebrates, giant walking sticks and things. He eats small birds, lizards, sometimes small mammals that live high in the canopy of the rainforest in New Guinea, where he comes from, lives high up in the trees.
So he doesn't eat people, does he?
No, he doesn't eat people, but he is a cousin of the Komodo dragon, one of the most infamous lizards in the world, and they have been documented actually attacking and killing people.
Yikes. Well, this guy's starting to make me nervous now. What if he gets out?
Well, he won't get out, Harrison, but for the kids out there, if you're ever exploring and you see an animal in the wild, you should just not approach them, leave them alone. Most reptiles are harmless. However, there are some dangerous animals out there that you might not think are.
Right. Well, thanks for being on my show.
Harrison, thanks a lot, buddy. See you later.
See you later, alligator. You'd never hurt me, would you? You're not like a Komodo dragon. Hey! Komodo dragon! That might be the answer to the mystery that started us off.
Do dragons really exist?
The big answer is... sort of. The dragon monsters we hear about in stories aren't real, but some dragon myths probably come from exaggerations of real reptiles. Snakes that open their jaws to eat something bigger than they are. Giant lizards that bite. Lizards whose tongues look like flames.
See? I wasn't making it up. Okay, maybe the fire-breathing part. And the magic part. And the invisible part.
I guess if you've never seen a snake or a lizard before and someone started telling you about them and they were exaggerating about them, then maybe you'd start to believe that they were actually really giant dragons that existed. Fortunately, there are no dragons in my attic. Did I fool you? Well, reptiles aren't scary, fire-breathing monsters at all. I thought you were a nice reptile. See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out.
I'm wearing a bandage because I cut myself on a thorn bush when I fell off my skateboard last week. Ah! Ow! The last 2 times I changed my bandage, it really hurt when I pulled it off. It made me wonder the same thing that Adriana was wondering.
Why is there pain?
I don't know why there's pain, but by the end of the show, I'll find out. Meanwhile, I have to change this bandage again. I just hope it doesn't hurt as much as it did last time. On second thought, maybe I'll change it at the end of the show. Now here's a question from Julia.
Why when you get a bee sting, it gets all swollen and it hurts?
To answer that, I believe we should go to the King of Stings, Dr. Justin Schmidt, from the University of Arizona. Dr. Schmidt has been passionate about insects ever since he was a kid. He's been stung more than 1,000 times, all in the name of research. Dr. Schmidt?
Hi, Zoe.
What happened to your face? Is that what happens when you get stung too much?
Well, I tried to learn all about stings.
Professor Schmidt told me that when an insect stings you, it injects venom. And the swelling you get is an allergic reaction. It's your body trying to defend itself.
Bee stings are probably the most painful that you'll run into. Now, if you want to come to Arizona, we can get you some real good stinging insects.
Like what?
Well, right here, we've got some harvester ants. They're just little guys. They hurt for not just 10 minutes like a bee sting does, but they hurt for like 4 hours. Not fun.
They don't sound fun. So what else do you have?
Well, we have some velvet ants. They're not really ants, they're wasps. And they're kind of cool. They squeak. They hurt really intense.
So what did you do to find out which insect stings were the most painful?
Well, in the process of being a biologist, you often make a mistake. Bad idea, because then you get stung. You might as well get some good information out of that, what it feels like, how long it lasts. And that's pretty much how I ended up getting stung by 83 different kinds of stinging insects.
So what did you do after being stung by all those insects?
I realized that this was useful information.
Professor Schmidt told me that he invented a way of measuring pain from a bug sting that's used all over the world. A number 1, like a bee sting, is not too painful and only lasts for a few minutes. But a 4, like a bullet ant sting, super duper hurts and lasts for hours. So why is your research about insect stings useful?
So we're trying to use stings, which can cause pain, to serve as tools. And we can cause the pain, and then we can try to see if we can block the pain with new medicines that we're making. And that makes all of us happier when we're not in pain.
Thanks, Dr. Schmidt, for helping me find stuff out about insect stings.
You're most welcome. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Zoe.
Bye. Now, here's a question about pain in your brain.
How do you get pain in your brain? Ugh.
The Flat Earth Corner! How do you get pain in your brain? Here in 8000 BCE, doctors like me have solved the mystery. Headaches are caused by evil spirits stuck inside your head. But don't worry, using this state-of-the-art Stone Age technology, we pierced a hole in your skull to let the evil spirits out. Another satisfied customer. Hold still, this only hurts a bit, most of the time. Thousands of years ago, people thought demons and evil spirits caused headaches. In the past, people had strange ideas on what caused headaches and how to cure them. For example, tying a buzzard's head around your neck, or rubbing molasses and cow poop on your temples. Ew. Nowadays, we know that headaches aren't caused by demons. Now you tell me? I found out that it's not actually your brain that's hurting. It doesn't have any pain receptors, so it can't feel pain. But other areas in your head do have pain receptors and can feel pain. Now here's a question from Sabrina.
Why does some food burn your tongue?
Bah. Well, Sabrina, he's an expert on food that burn your tongue, and it looks like he has brought me some. Please welcome Lawrence Isaac.
Hi, Zoe. I brought you a present.
But they look like hot peppers.
They are hot peppers. I figured we could try some. I hope they don't burn you too much.
You make it seem so appetizing, but okay. Hey, it didn't burn me. So why didn't that hot pepper burn?
It's actually because that one was one of the milder peppers. Every pepper's got different heat levels, which is measured in Scoville units. It measures the amount of water you need so that you don't taste the pepper anymore. Different peppers, different amounts of water. So the milder ones take less water to dilute them, and the spicier ones can take up to a swimming pool of water to dilute them.
Cool.
So for example, here I brought some sauces. This one would take, for every milliliter, about 1 liter of water to dilute it completely. That one's called a poblano pepper. It's not too bad, right?
No.
Now, if it was really spicy, what you would do is you could have either some yogurt, some milk, or some honey, because the fats in the yogurt or the milk cut the feeling of the heat, and the sugar in the honey would cut the feeling of heat too. So the second one I'll make you try is jalapeno. So this one is about 6 times spicier. So instead of 1 liter of water to dilute it, it would be about 6 liters of water. How's that?
Oh, that's spicy!
Do you want some milk?
Yeah. Ah, much better. So what about the last one?
This one is made with ghost peppers. This is one of the spiciest peppers on earth. So 1 drop of this would take about 140,000 liters of water to dilute it. It's very, very spicy. You want to try this one?
I'm good. You can try it though.
Okay, I'll try it. So right now my mouth is watering. I feel like I'm gonna start sweating a little bit. Compared to the first one you tried, we're talking a lot more intense.
So why are peppers hot?
Because they don't want to be eaten. They have capsaicin in it, which is a chemical that fools our body into thinking it's hot. So they've developed this way of protecting themselves in nature from animals.
Well, it didn't really work because we still eat them.
That's true. Basically, what we've done is we've learned to adapt to it so we can handle the heat. And we even add it to our cooking, and it makes our cooking a little more fun.
Well, thanks for being on my show, Lawrence, and helping me find stuff out about how some foods hurt your tongue.
Thanks for having me, Zoe.
Why do some people feel pain more than other people?
To answer that, I came here to the Shriners Hospital for Children Canada with my older brother, Jaden. Hey, everybody! He's agreed to be embarrassed by letting everyone see that I can stand more pain than him.
No way.
Well, I guess we just have to find that stuff out, won't we?
Hi, kids.
Hi! This is Dr. Catherine Furland. So, can you tell everybody what you do here?
I help physicians, surgeons, and anesthesiologists to minimize the pain experience of children undergoing surgery.
How do doctors reduce pain?
So we treat patients with medicine.
Dr. Furland told me that to find out how much medicine to give kids, they do a test to see how sensitive each one is to pain. And we're about to take the pain test.
Are you ready?
I'm gonna beat you.
No, you aren't.
My pain tolerance is way higher than yours.
No, it isn't.
You go first.
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
So we will start with a test to identify your pain threshold to heat sensation. This is a probe that generates heat. Okay, nothing to burn you. Don't worry about it. Touch it.
Warm.
It's getting
Yeah,
warm.
it is warm.
Yes. So you will feel it. The temperature will rise.
Yep.
And then you will start to feel pain. And then you will start to feel like you
More
can...
pain.
Yes, more pain. And then you will arrive to your tolerance threshold.
Yeah.
And then you say stop, and the test will end. Okay, so Jaden, you will have to leave the room.
Okay. Have fun,
Bye.
Zoe.
Thanks.
I'm still gonna beat you.
Okay, we'll see you.
So this is the pain scale, so from 0 to 10.
The temperature will get higher and higher. The one who can stand the highest temperature wins this part of the test. When I push the pain scale to 10, that means I can't take it anymore.
So it's starting.
Yeah, I can feel it's warm. Starting to feel a little pain. Dr. Furland told me that because pain is different for everyone, doctors need to know how much pain you can take to know what kind of medicine to give. They don't want to take all the pain away because not feeling any would be dangerous. For example, if you have a broken leg and don't feel it, you can make it worse by moving it too much. Like, it hurts a little bit, but I'm still not at, like, 10. Almost at 10. Okay, I can't really stand it anymore.
Okay, we're done.
44 degrees was the most pain I could take. That's what Jaden will have to beat.
Okay, so now, Zoe, we will measure your tolerance to cold.
Ooh, it's cold. In this test, I have to keep my arm in icy cold water for 2 minutes.
How do you feel?
I would say maybe a 5.
5 on 10, okay.
I'm supposed to say how much pain I'm feeling using a number between 1 and 10.
How do you feel now?
Maybe an 8.
Oh, it's getting more painful.
It's pretty cold. Whoever ends up with the lower number felt less pain and wins this part of the test.
And now?
Maybe a 10.
And we stop the test. Okay, so it was painful.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, Jaden.
Ow!
I haven't turned it on yet. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's start it.
Okay. It's getting warmer, and it's getting warmer. Oh, it's starting to hurt a little bit. It's about a 6. Whoa. Oh, that's too hot. Completely stop.
Wanna stop?
Yep. Oh, it's so cool how it just stops like that.
Let's do it.
Whoa.
So how do you feel from 0 to 10?
4. It's so cold. I feel like I'm in Antarctica.
And now?
5.
So it's increasing, the pain is increasing. Again?
I think I would say 7. It's like...
Okay, the test has ended.
That was pretty awesome. I won because I'm the greatest, right?
I mean, you're the best, but I'm better than the best.
Only one best can be the best. Okay.
Hi, so I have the results.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Bring it on.
So for the warm test, Zoe had the highest pain tolerance.
Okay. Jaden's pain tolerance is at 39 degrees, and mine is at 44 degrees.
For the cold test,
I aced that one.
You did.
Jaden said his pain from the ice water was only 7, but I felt like mine was a 10.
So you have differences in your threshold, meaning that different types of pain, you react differently.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, Dr. Freeland, thanks for being on my show and helping me find stuff out about pain, especially that I can take more than my brother can.
Actually, it was a tie, but whatever.
Why do small boo-boos hurt more than big ones?
The cut on my finger from the thorn bush when I fell off my skateboard hurt way more than the part when I landed on my butt, even though my finger's a lot smaller. How come? This calls for an experiment. The experiment! Emma is blindfolding Marco to demonstrate that some parts of our body are more sensitive than others.
So how many points are there?
2. Marco has to guess how many skewer tips are poking him.
How many points are there now?
1.
How many?
2. Now they'll try the same touch test on a different part of the body.
How many do you feel?
2.
Now how many do you feel?
1.
Now how many do you feel?
1.
It's 2. How many do you feel?
2.
It's just 1.
Okay, now the shoulder.
1. Nope, there are 2.
Check out this funny picture of a human. It's meant to show where we feel things the most. The bigger body parts are the most sensitive, like our lips, tongue, and our hands. That's why Marco could feel the points pushing more easily on his finger than on his foot or his arm. Uh-oh, do try this at home. When you get hurt, do you ever have the urge to rub the part that hurts? I found out that rubbing where you were hurt really does reduce how much pain you feel. If you get your fingers slammed in a door, shaking your hand also helps. All this rubbing and shaking activates nerves that help block pain. Just don't smash your hand when you're shaking it around. Ow! All this pain relief gives me an idea for...
My Great Challenge!
I'm Dr. Zoe, and today on My Great Challenge, I have two challengers, Gamu. Hi. And Emanuela.
Hi.
So today's challenge is about pain. Gamu, what was the most painful thing you experienced?
I was skateboarding and then I slipped and banged my head.
Emanuela?
I was walking and I missed a step and fell in my pool.
You guys really have big experience with pain. But your job here is to help your patients avoid pain. So I'm gonna ask you some multiple choice questions and you'll have to answer with A, B, or C. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Gamu. Your patient has a terrible migraine headache. Do you A, drill a hole in their head to let the evil spirits out? B, have them brush their hair with an electric hairbrush to relieve pain with magnetism? Or C, give them headache relief medicine?
C.
I feel better.
You're right. Yes. Your turn, Emanuela. So your patient has fallen off their scooter and bruised their butt. How do you lessen the pain? A, with heat, B, with an ice pack, or C, with some really funny knock-knock jokes?
B.
I feel better.
You're right. Question 3. Your patient pulled a muscle while playing leapfrog. How do you lessen their pain? A, with heat, B, with an ice pack, or C, treat the area with snake oil?
B.
Ow. Sorry, Gamu. It's wrong. Okay, Emanuela.
A?
I feel better.
You're right. Heat is better than cold to soothe sore muscles, while cold helps injuries like scrapes and bruises. Okay, Emanuela, your patient has banged their hip walking through a doorway. Should they A, gentle rub it, B, apply leeches to the area, or C, hang a buzzard's head around their neck?
B.
Apply leeches to the area?
Ow.
Sorry, that's wrong. Gamu?
A.
Gently rub it?
I feel better.
That's correct. So you both have 2 points. So this last question is the tiebreaker. So Manuela, your patient has been stung by a jellyfish. Do you relieve their pain by A, washing the area with salty seawater, B, putting fresh water on it, or C, putting calamine lotion on it?
C.
Ow. Sorry, that's wrong. Okay, Gamu, this is your chance to win.
A.
Washing the area with salty water?
I feel better.
That's correct. You win the game. High five. Washing the area with salty seawater actually deactivates the stinging cells. But if you put fresh water on it, it actually makes it worse. Hopefully it wasn't too painful of an experience. Thanks for being on my show.
You're welcome.
I asked some of you guys what your most painful experience was. Here's what you said.
Ask a friend. I was on the beach and I jumped off a lifeguard stand and I broke my arm.
Ow!
I had never felt so much pain in my whole entire life.
I was skateboarding and I went flying and I hit the side of my head.
Ow, what a headache. I went skating with my family and I tripped on my dad and his skate went through my hand.
Oh.
I fell down the escalator.
Ow!
The really sharp things went in my skin and the ambulance came. It really hurt.
I feel pain just hearing about it. And that leads us back to the question that inspired my show.
Why is there pain?
The big answer is... You know, I'm going to answer your question with a song.
When suddenly you're feeling pain, it's 'cause nerves send signals to your brain. Saying something sharp, cold or prickly. If you stick around, you'll end up sickly. Stings or scrapes, burns or bites. Your nerves tell your brain so you can't take flight. You might wish you didn't feel those things in your brain, but you need to get a warning, and that's why there's pain. Yes, you need to get a warning, and that's why there's pain. Yes, you need to get a warning, and that's why there's pain.
Pain is our body's way of warning us that something is dangerous or bad for us. Like if we touch something too sharp, or too hot, or even too cold. It also warns us if we're sick, like if we get a sore throat. So we know to get help from a doctor and slow down to let our bodies heal. Speaking of that, I'm ready to take off this bandage. I just hope it doesn't hurt like the last 2 times I changed it. Hey, it didn't hurt. My cut's healed. Now I don't feel pain in those pain receptors.
Glad to hear it, Zoe.
Thanks. And thanks for watching my show. I can't believe that didn't hurt a bit. Ow, my knee! I'm on the hunt for birds, but not just any birds, birds of prey, because of this question I got from Danilo.
Why do we need birds of prey?
I found out that birds of prey are birds who hunt. So, we're on the hunt for hunters. Cool. It sounds like there's a big, big bird overhead, but I'm not worried. Birds of prey don't hunt people. They hunt small animals or insects. They're actually afraid of people. What is that? Oh, gross. It's... Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna go stay over here. I've been checking up on birds of prey. There are more than 500 species in the world. Eagles, hawks, owls, falcons, they live everywhere, from the desert to the city. They mostly hunt little animals like bunnies, mice, and snakes. They swoop out of the sky and, oh no, watch out, little bunny. That eagle got the bunny. So, Danilo, I'm not actually sure why we need birds of prey, but I'll find out for you by the end of the show. And I know exactly where to start hunting for them. I'm visiting a special summer camp. It's a camp for kids and birds of prey called Radical Raptors.
Hi, Summer. Hi, Zoe. Welcome to the summer camp.
Thanks.
This is Temple. She's a North American kestrel.
She's so cute. Kids at this camp learn how to handle and even fly birds of prey.
This is Phoenix, and she's a Harris hawk. So first, you're wearing this leather glove because her talons are very sharp, and she would scratch you. Have your hand up on an angle, and then release your hand a bit. Now get this, and this is called safety. And Jessies are used to keep a hold of the bird so that they don't fly away.
Cool. She's so soft.
Yeah.
I have a question from my friend Maya.
Why are birds of prey called raptors?
Summer tells me that birds of prey, just like all other birds, evolved from dinosaurs. And that some dinosaurs are called raptors. But that's not why birds of prey are called raptors. It's because the Latin word for raptor means to seize or to take by force. And that's exactly how they grab their prey with their powerful talons.
Would you like to fly her?
Yeah.
Turn around and go like that.
That was so cool. So how do we get her back?
Stick your hand out like this. And then I'm just gonna grab a piece of food. Put it right there.
I have another kid question.
How do you teach birds of prey to do tricks like a dog? Every time they fly, they get a reward of food. So when they're hungry, they'll learn to fly to your glove. And with falcons, we use a thing called a lure, which has like a little bird at the end, not a real bird, but a fake bird. And then you swing it, and that teaches them to go after their food.
Cool.
Do you want to see her chase a fake rabbit?
Sure.
Actually, you're the fake rabbit. On your marks, get set, go! And stop! That was cool.
Yeah, but I would not want to be that rabbit. I have another kid question.
Do birds have teeth?
Yeah. Do birds have teeth? No, birds don't have teeth, but they have a really sharp beak that they use for tearing apart their meat.
How far can an eagle see?
An eagle could see for up to 3 kilometers.
Wow, that's like seeing something really small all the way across 30 football fields. Amazing.
Well, no wonder you guys call this camp Radical Raptors. The raptors are radical. Thanks for having me, Summer. Thanks for coming. Come again soon, Zoe.
Thinking about raptor camp, I realized that all the birds of prey that we met had 3 things in common. Strong talons, great eyesight, and sharp beaks. I wonder what it would be like if we were birds of prey. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we do it. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's all there is to it. Our eyes are sharp as sharp can be. We see a fish jump into the sea. We spot a snake, a mouse, or a rabbit, then dive down from the sky and grab it. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we get ya. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we roll, you betcha. Our beaks are sharp, our talons strong. We spy our prey as we fly along. We swoop down fast, and then we nab it with our talons, beaks, and eyes.
Whew, what a ride. It's so much fun being a bird of prey. The only problem is deciding what you want to be.
Ask a friend. Hey guys, if you are a bird of prey, which one would you like to be?
I would probably be a falcon because they're very fast and I like speed and I like the breeze when you're fast and then the wind is just in your face.
An owl because I could stay up all night.
Eagle because they're huge, they could fly a long way and, well, they're really beautiful.
I'd like to be an owl because they're hard to spot up in trees, so they'd be good secret agents.
Falcon because I'd really like to try diving.
I'd like to be one because they have sharp talons and they're also able to eat snakes.
What? You want to eat a snake?
I never ate one, but I'm sure they'll taste good. They're like spaghetti.
One thing birds of prey do really well is fly. My friends Kenya and William know how to make paper airplanes that fly a bit like them. Hi, Kenya and William.
Hi, Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
So what kind of paper airplanes can you make?
I'm doing a falcon. And I'm doing a hawk.
Kenya's falcon glider is slim and pointy. And William's hawk glider is more flat and square.
My falcon's gonna go straight and fast. My hawk is gonna glide slowly.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's test these out. Swift like a falcon. Glides like a hawk. Those paper airplanes flew just like birds of prey. But what is this mysterious slimy thing that fell from the sky? Oh, I need to ask an expert. If you need to know about birds, ask someone who can see them. My friend Jennifer Sear Devine from the Eco Museum. Hey, Zweep. I see you brought Jennifer along with you.
Hi. So exactly what is this?
I'm not really sure. I was hoping you would know.
Well, it kind of looks familiar. Come on. Dweep was actually really excited to see you again, and look, he's brought you a present.
What's this?
It's actually a regurgitated pellet.
You mean he threw it up?
Sort of.
Harrison has a question about that.
I heard that birds of prey throw up a lot. Is that true?
Well, they can, but birds of prey also do what's called regurgitating a pellet. So when they eat something like a mouse, they actually eat everything. And inside their stomach, they can't necessarily digest everything. So everything that can't be digested becomes this pellet, this ball, and that ball gets regurgitated, so it's thrown back up.
So he doesn't really throw up?
And not quite. What's actually really interesting is when you look inside a pellet, you can actually figure out what the bird of prey ate. So I've got a little challenge for you here. At the Eco Museum Zoo, we feed our birds with mice, and we feed our birds of prey with birds, chicks. So I'm gonna give you a challenge. I'm gonna ask you to try to dissect this pellet and figure out exactly what Dweep over here had for lunch yesterday.
Okay.
I'm gonna start spraying it, and as I'm spraying it, you're gonna try to dissect, pull apart all the little pieces of the pellet. At first, it might seem a little bit hard, but as the pellet gets more water on it, it gets a little softer, and then it becomes easier to pull apart.
Oh yeah, it is getting easier. Yeah, there's bones in here.
Everything that the birds of prey can't digest, exactly like bones, you can find in a regurgitated pellet. Sometimes it's feathers. Sometimes it might be fur. Sometimes it might be scales, claws, teeth. So everything that's really, really hard.
Here's a bone.
Excellent. So what we do is we usually work with a sheet to try to figure out what part of the body of the animal that the bird ate that it belongs to. Try to find a picture of a bone that's just like that one, long and straight.
What about this one?
Very good. That long, straight bone, part of the leg.
Definitely a chick.
Very good. Great detective work.
Thank you. Whoa, Sweep, you scared me. Flat Earth Corner! In ancient Greece, people thought owls were a sign of good fortune. They even put pictures of owls on money. On one side, an owl, and on the other, it's Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. Athena and her little owl were inseparable. That could be why ancient Greeks thought owls were wise. We Romans know better. We know that owls are omens of disaster. A hoot from an owl indicates imminent death. Ah! Ah!
Nah, the ancient Romans had it all wrong. We old-timey witches keep our owls as helpers. Our owls spy around town and tell us witches what's going on.
Some people think owls are wise and mysterious. Maybe it's because of their big wise eyes. Who knows? Get it? Who knows? Yeah? Okay, next question. Do some birds of prey eat dead food? Good question. I checked, and this is what I found. Vultures are raptors, but some people don't consider them true birds of prey because they don't really hunt for food. They eat dead animals. They can smell a dead animal carcass from 2 kilometers away. Dead meat decomposes fast, so that helps the vulture eat their food. Yum. Vultures don't have sharp talons, but they have super strong beaks, and their heads are bald. That's so when they eat rotting carcasses, no bacteria or parasites can get into their feathers and make them sick. Turkey vultures could fly away when they're frightened, but they use another weapon if they're attacked. They vomit. The rotten meal and stomach acids really stink. Predators are so grossed out that they leave the vultures alone. Now that is disgusting. Almost as disgusting as that thing. So let's just not look at it because it's time for... My Great Challenge! We have Danny Lo and Alice on Team Eagle and Michelle and Arvin on Team Hawk. Are you ready to be birds of prey? Okay, challengers, time to get hunting. Okay, Team Eagle, go! One team member makes the other one fly on a swing. They have to catch as much prey as possible with their special talons, then drop the prey into the nest. Anything that lands outside the nest doesn't count. Whoops, they missed that one. Okay, no more prey. 7 out of 9. Good job. Okay, Team Hawk, go! Team Hawk is going to get hungry if they can't catch any prey. There's one. They're getting the hang of it. Okay, time's up. Michelle, you were pretty good. You caught 8 prey, but only 4 went in the basket. Yeah. Well, at least you have next round. And go! This is Team Eagle's chance to build on their lead. Missed that one. Team Eagle struggling in round 2. Okay, time's up. You guys got 8 prey, but only 4 went in the basket. So 7 plus 4 equals 11. Good job. You still have a chance to win. Go! Can Team Hawk come up from behind to pull off a win? 2 in 1 shot. Nice. You got this. Another 2 in 1. What a comeback. Good job, guys. Keep going. Catching that prey like pros. Team Eagle's lead is shrinking. Keep going. Only a few left. They need to catch them all. Oh, missed the nest. They're catching up. It's going to be a close one. Okay, that was the last one. Team Eagle, you have 11. And Team Hawk, you had 4. But this round, you got 7, which means you have 11 too. It's a tie. Yay! Good job, guys. Good Uh-oh, do try this at home. Today's Do Try This at Home is imitating birds. Zweep. Oh, Jennifer, it's you.
Hi, yeah.
What's the trick?
Well, actually, to sound like an owl, you need a little bit of practice, but basically you pucker up your lips a little bit, you puff out your cheeks, and you try to hoot. So I was just doing a barred owl, and they kind of sing, "Who cooks for you?" Very good. You're a natural at this.
Try it.
I know of a barn owl, and when they sing, they kind of make a screeching sound. And they also do a bit of a woo. Sounds almost like a ghost. My personal favorite, it's an eastern screech owl. And they're about this big, and they sound like a horse whinnying. Very good.
Wow, thanks, Jennifer. I'm starting to love birds of prey. Even though they eat mice and bunnies, they're not being mean.
No, you're right. It's actually a question of survival. They have to hunt in order to eat.
My friend Ruby was wondering, are any birds of prey endangered? Good question. Let me see. I found out that raptors face a lot of danger. They're threatened by things like the weather, accidents, volcanoes, lightning, and disease. Then there are dangers caused by humans like pesticides, electric power lines, hunting, and egg collecting. My friends at Raptor Camp know a lot about this and what we can do to help.
The number one reason birds of prey are endangered is because of habitat loss. When you chop down the forest trees, they lose their home.
Spotted owls are actually dying off.
Stop spraying harmful pesticides on the forest or anywhere.
A really big one would be to stop throwing garbage out your car window because that attracts mice, and the birds come to eat the mice, and then they get hit by a car.
Together, we can protect these amazing creatures so they will always be around. Michael has a really good question about that.
What would happen if we didn't have birds of prey?
Well, for one thing, we would have a lot of mice. How fast can mice multiply? Start with 2 baby mice, a male and a female. At 6 weeks, the female can become pregnant. 8 baby mice are born after 3 weeks only. The female can become pregnant immediately after giving birth. Her 8 baby mice start having their own babies after 6 weeks. Same with their babies, and so on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and on! What? That can't be! You're gonna make my head explode! In 1 year only? Just 2
2 mice could have 131,258 descendants. Now imagine millions of mice. And that's not even counting all the other creatures birds of prey wouldn't catch. Why, they take over the world.
Hey, I think that's the answer to today's big question.
Why do we need birds of prey?
The big answer is to keep nature in balance. Birds of prey make sure mice don't take over the world. That's the big answer. Ta-da! But what is this big, gross thing? It looks familiar, like an owl pellet. A huge one. Maybe it's a dinosaur pellet. Well, I know what to do with the pellet. Look inside. Oh, gross, gross. Oh, I've got something. Bones?
Could this really be a dinosaur pellet? Some dinosaurs did make pellets, but who regurgitated this one?
Okay, you've caught me. I built this big pellet to see if it would help us find stuff out. And it worked. See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out.